Good afternoon and welcome to my presentation. I'm Ruxin Wang from RCU. Today I'm gonna present our work, low-effort VR headset user authentication using head-reverberated sounds with replay resistance. This is a collaborative work with my lab mate Huang and my advisor Dr. Chen Wang. Virtual reality technology has gained widespread recognition over the past few years, bridging digital and physical worlds. VR has been increasingly adopted in entertainment, education, medical care, and social network to provide immersive experience. However, efficiently verifying a VR headset user before granting a personal access is still a challenge. Currently, the VR headset user is required to use a hand controller to enter password or using hand gestures for authentication, which are time-consuming. Moreover, when a user enters a password in the virtual space, the sensitive hand movements could leak the password to the nearby adversary in physical world. There has been active works in extracting VR head behavioral biometrics from the VR head users from the user's head, body motion for authentication. However, this method requires high user participation, and the authentication process is slow. Moreover, the performance is limited to the behavioral inconsistency and the low fidelity of embedded sensors. In this work, we aim to develop a head biometric-based authentication method on off-the-shelf VR devices and address the replay threats and unobtrusiveness. We propose to verify VR headset user by extracting the head biometric in the acoustic domain. We found when a user wears a VR headset, the device and the user's head form a rigid body. When a VR speaker emits a sound, it interferes with the rigid body and would go through the direct path and reflected path and reach the microphone. Moreover, we found the rigid body contains two chambers. One is enclosed by the face and the device. Another is a skull chamber. In particular, the recorded microphone sounds consist of the echo sounds, which are the speaker sounds returning to the microphone, and the ambient sounds. The echo sound could further divide into the reflections from the rigid body and the reflections from the environment. The rigid body reflections are the sound reverberated by the head, and then we extracted it as head biometrics. The biometric is individually unique because it contains the physiological head characteristics, such as the head size, skull structure, mass, and facial patterns. And it also contains individually unique wearing behaviors, such as the wearing position and the VR tightness. So to study the feasibility of applying acoustic sensing to obtain head biometrics, we let the VR speaker to emit an ultrasonic sound and use the microphone to record the sound. Stronger reflections are observed when the user wears a VR headset, but the results are obtained with the VR headset without echo cancellation. However, in reality, the off-the-shelf VR devices has built-in echo cancellation, which cannot be removed without rooting the device. We thus repeat the experiment comparison on such VR devices. Stronger reflections are observed as well, although under echo cancellation, but we found the recorded sounds are severely distorted and hard to recognize. So we need to address the impact from the default echo cancellation to achieve actively sensing the head biometrics. Another challenge we need to address is the replay threats. So because our system based on head biometric, and the head biometric could be physically copied, we assume there is an attacker who could physically copy a user's head based on 3D scanning and 3D printing. And because our system based on acoustic sensing, so it is subject to acoustic replay threats, we assume an attacker who could place a hidden microphone at the user's proximity to record the authentication sound, and then use an external speaker to amplify and replay back the sound to the authentication system. To address the two challenges, we propose a low-effort VR authentication system based on a convolutional autoencoder and a convolutional neural network. The system initializes the authentication session by playing a millisecond ultrasonic sound when the user puts on the VR headset to log in. The corresponding microphone data are recorded as system input. We first perform data preprocessing, and then the CE-CNN-based user authentication first derives the echo sound spectrogram. The echo sound spectrogram is further input to the convolutional autoencoder to counteract the echo cancellation and derive stable head biometrics. The reconstructed spectrogram is then further into the convolutional neural network to differentiate users. We design an ultrasonic signal swapping from 80 kHz to 22 kHz to sense the VR headset user. And we apply a bandpass filter to remove the noise and perform synchronization and segmentation to locate and segment the pass signal in the microphone data. We derive the echo sound spectrogram to describe how head interferes with the signal at each spectral point. Based on the echo sound spectrogram, we design a convolutional autoencoder to derive the user's biometric encodings. For comparison, this is another user's biometric encodings. We found they are individually unique. We thus develop our system based on the user's biometric encodings. We design a CE-CNN authentication algorithm based on a convolutional autoencoder and a convolutional neural network. The convolutional autoencoder consists of encoder, the latent space, and the decoder. The echo sound spectrogram first input to the encoder to derive stable head biometrics, and then input to the decoder to counteract the echo cancellation and recover the head biometrics. The recovered head biometric is further into the convolutional neural network to differentiate users. We evaluate our system using a standalone VR headset, MetaQuest, and a mobile phone VR headset, Desktop V3. And the smartphone we use are Samsung S8. We recruited 30 participants and conducted a long-term study over 15 months. We first evaluate our system. In verifying users, we found our system achieves 98.9% accuracy on average. The performance showed that and also we found the CE-CNN model achieves better performance than using the CNN model only. The reason is that the CE-CNN model could counteract the built-in echo cancellation and derive stable head biometrics. We also compare the verification performance among two types of VR devices. We found the mobile phone VR headset achieves better performance than standalone VR headset. The reason is that the mobile phone VR headset does not have built-in echo cancellation. We evaluated our system on a long-term study over 15 months. We found when we're using the CE-CNN model in verification, our system achieves both high in true positive rate and true negative rate. The results further confirm that the CE-CNN model could counteract the echo cancellation and derive stable head biometrics. We then examine our system at 5 days with two types of VR devices. No significant performance degradation is observed over time. The results show that our CE-CNN model's effectiveness over long term with two VR type of devices. So we further evaluate our system in defending replay attacks. For 3D printed head attack, our system achieves 0.5% attack success rate. The results show that although the attacker could copy the user's head shape, size, facial patterns, it is still hard to break our system. And we then conduct a study to understand the effect of CE model and default echo cancellation in defending acoustic replay attack. we found when we're using the Chen model only to verify user, the attack success rate is around 24%. And when we're using the CE model on the VR device with default echo cancellation, the attack success rate reduced to around 5%. And we found the CE model has a high capability in defending acoustic replay attack. When we're using the CE model and Chen model to verify users, the attack success rate is reduced to 1%. And when we're using the CE Chen model with the device under echo cancellation, we found the attack success rate dramatically reduced to less than 1%. The results show that both the CE model and the default echo cancellation are effective in defending acoustic replay attacks. To summarize, in this work, we propose an efficient and replay-resistant VR user authentication system based on head biometric in acoustic domain. We achieve active acoustic sensing on common VR headset and address acoustic sensing challenge under echo cancellation. We develop a CE Chen algorithm to encode the head biometrics for each individual from acoustic signals. Experiments with 2 VR devices and over a 1 year long-term study show that our system is effective in verifying users and is resistant to replay attacks. Thanks for listening. Please feel free to ask any questions.
Very nice talk. So when the user wears the headset in different sessions, the position of the headset will be changed a little bit. So do you think this will impact your head biometrics? And do you have any specific algorithm to address this?
Yeah, during the experiments, we ask the user to wear and rewear the VR headset for 40 times. So this can make sure we include every angle of the wearing positions. Okay.
Hi, interesting work. I was just wondering, this echo cancellation, is this like a built-in feature where you have no way of like getting the raw signal? So think of like if you deploy this with the vendors, they have like this VR headset, there might be a way to even use like the raw signal without echo cancellation before being processed for your recognition?
Yeah, this is a good question. So previously we want to using the original shape of the recorded sound, but we found on the off-the-shelf VR devices, we cannot record the original shape sound without routing the device, because I think there are some technical, hardware issue in the VR headset.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I have one question. Whether your authentication method will be affected by the like hairstyle or accessories of the user?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we conducted a long-term study over 15 months. During these 15 months, I think it is definitely the participant will change the hairstyle, and also they will have some changes on the wig or some facial pattern. So we show that this will not impact our authentication performance. Yeah.
Okay, let's thank the speaker again.